FTX and Binance were the two most important, most influential, and probably SBF and CZ were the two most important players in crypto. Now you've got one definitively in jail, one, I guess, potentially headed to jail. And, you know, I bring this up in context of black swans is like, it's hard to know. But on the positive, think about the freaking resilience of this industry and market that 2 years ago, somebody who I thought I knew a lot about what's going on in crypto, I would have said these are the two most important companies. The CEOs of the two most important companies now either are in jail or I think headed there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in some ways, I mean, the CZ stuff I'm less close to, and so I don't know as many details. But look, the resilience of the market, that should give us immense optimism.
Yes.
About what's coming. Do I think there's going to be another black swan? Of course, 100%. I just don't know exactly what it is. The only one that's going to be an interesting one to watch, and I don't even know how he calls a black swan, because I feel like black swan by definition can't really be, it's like predicted. Didn't see that happening.
Yeah.
The U.S. government is going after Tether. That is clear to me. I view Tether as a very important part of the ecosystem, and I don't know how to predict
the impact that will have.
What's up, guys? Happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there, and let's dive into today's video. So this is a clip of Brad Garlinghouse discussing his thoughts on the overall market and potential black swans shared by Good Morning Crypto. So Brad's emphasizing how important it is to see resiliency in this asset class each and every cycle, and that paints a really good picture long term, but he also discusses potential black swans. Now, a black swan by definition is an unforeseen event. If Tether or USDT had any issues in the future, it wouldn't really be unforeseen. Everybody's been talking about this for years, and it's a valid concern, so only time will tell. Rule number one in crypto is absolutely anything is possible. So anything is possible, but it's a matter of what is really probable. In one of my recent videos, I show the correlation of the increase in supply of stablecoins during bullish cycles. So typically, when you're seeing a lot of Tether, USDC, different assets increasing in their supply, or Tether being minted during a bullish cycle, this can be really powerful. Concerns with Tether have been around for years, and they're super valid. It is one of the largest assets by market cap in the entire space, only behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. So current market cap is over 110 billion. And that's a large market cap, but my other considerations include this. The stablecoin market is expected to reach a high of $3 trillion in the next 4 years. That's larger than the entire crypto asset class today. So I keep that in mind, and it's not like I'm holding large amounts of Tether. I will use USDT to trade if I absolutely have to, but my go-to is the US dollar, just so you don't have counterparty risk. And today, I still perceive Circle's USDC stablecoin to be safer than Tether, but you just never know, and that's why my go-to is always the US dollar if it makes sense for actual liquidity in those pairs on said exchange. Any stablecoin like Tether or USDC going through a lawsuit could be a big hit to the crypto asset class, but my macro view is that even the stablecoin market reaches trillions of dollars. And that could include Tether, USDC, or any other new stablecoins in the future. So the most ironic part is that I always try to choose the US dollar pairs directly for a US based exchange when I'm using my trading bots, so I thought I was being safe with Binance US trading directly with the US dollar and not Tether, and I still got screwed during the Binance US lawsuits where they delisted all of the USD trading pairs. So in that case, I would have been better off with Tether, but I don't want to risk it in Tether long term, even if everything's completely fine. So I'm not trying to FUD this, it's a valid concern and only time will tell. And bottom line, this is just my personal opinion, I think the SEC is the true enemy in this space. They haven't protected investors from 3AC, Luna, Celsius, all of these events, FTX included, having private meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried. And yet they're going after Coinbase, one of the longest living US-based exchanges. They go after Ripple. They're going after all of these groups. It sure doesn't feel or look like they're trying to protect us everyday retail investors. They're just going after the big hitters, the ones that can write them the biggest check. Because Gary Gensler's just another puppet, formerly at Goldman Sachs, protecting all of his buddies' interests, Vanguard, etc. And I know there are some good people in office and different politicians that want to push proper regulation of Web3 ahead, but Gary isn't one of them. So looking at the crypto asset class today, or the crypto total market cap, still holding above that wick of the 21-week EMA similar to past cycles. So 2.2 trillion, where Ripple and Medico predict a $10 trillion institutional crypto custody market by 2030. We just had this news by Fireblocks creating the world's first licensed custodian partner program for digital assets. A first of its kind global network of licensed digital asset custodians. Built on the Fireblocks network, the Global Custodian Partner Program will launch this quarter with an initial group of licensed custodians based in the United States, the UAE, the UK, Singapore, Thailand, and Australia. Customers will be able to connect to licensed providers securely while seamlessly managing their digital asset operations on the Fireblocks platform. The move comes amid growing institutional demand for qualified custodians. Think BitGo recently joining Hedera's governing council in the digital asset space as asset managers, registered investment advisors, and other major financial market participants accumulate exposure through tokenization, exchange-traded funds, allocation, or advisory. We also see that Fireblocks is announcing its intention to launch a limited-purpose trust company that is under the regulation of the New York Department of Financial Services. This trust company will offer cold storage custody solutions to US clients. So Fireblocks is a huge deal and something to keep tabs on for a variety of tokens, protocols, exchanges. You can see this giant list of different tokens. So really big. And this is an example of some of the infrastructure that's needed. We can see on the left, treasury management, wallet as a service, tokenization, payments. We have compliance, Web3 experiences, staking, and access to thousands of decentralized finance applications. We also know that Peak is officially launching and available on CoinList. I'm a US resident, so I'm unable to buy any. I do have some Crest, so I should be getting some Peak during an airdrop, but this is one of the most highly anticipated DePIN projects to ever hit. So we can see Peak raises $15 million backed by some very large groups, including Borderless. We also have DWF Labs, which is huge. So I'm interested to see Peak's price action when it launches. I hope it's not price action like DE.Fi. I don't want it to go into a big distribution phase because we know this is backed by a lot of VCs, but there are a lot of projects building on Peak, and I'm really interested long term. And right here, shared by Peak Network, we can see 25 world-changing DePINs or decentralized physical infrastructure networks building in the Peak ecosystem today. Ranging from anonymity, smart home ownership, decentralizing power and mobility, wearable health data, decentralized charging, telecoms, real-time communication, energy networks, agriculture marketplaces, etc. So Peak will definitely be a project I'll be covering a lot more in the future. There are a lot of projects building and something I'm going to be keeping tabs on long term, so we can see some information here for their CoinList listing. If you're interested, you can read through their latest blogs on peak.network, and this is dated on May 9th, the token launch. So we can see on CoinList, KYC is mandatory and the start date is May 9th and it's running up until May 16th. We can see the fixed token price in the fully diluted market cap or its network value at $333 million. So I've shared a little bit about Peak before. It's an interesting project, it is a new project, and it's backed by some interesting groups as we can see. And DePIN use cases are the heart of Web3. So to read more about this new project, you can go to peak.network, you can click the Learn tab, and then head to the use cases or the ecosystem. And here we can see and visit each of these applications, look at their website, and see what they're really building. So we can see under Enterprises, see what they're doing with Airbus, we have Audi. So I've been looking at some of these projects, some of which have a token, and just be extra careful because there's still a lot of scams in this space. I did see this group Nadix, and this is a cool use case. Essentially the Internet of Cameras, real-time street mapping. I got an email from Nadix sharing that there are impersonators going around sharing unofficial links, so please be safe and only use the official links off their official website. So as Peak gets closer to launching, I'm keeping tabs on Crest Network, its Canary network, so if this asset does go down in price, I'm definitely going to be snagging some. I have a small position today, but nothing too crazy, really just waiting to see how Peak launches. I hope it's a super successful one. I know that people are bored in the market, we're always looking for new projects, but what we need at the end of the day is an influx in liquidity and volume for Bitcoin to draw its first major move in all-time highs. Not chop around 60K or 48K, we need to see that big major move, and then I'm a lot more confident for virtually every single asset to increase. So until then, just waiting for Bitcoin to finish this pullback so we can get the next move to the upside and watch alts go up again. In the meantime, I see Good Morning Crypto share, just in, VanEck launches a meme coin index to track top meme coin tokens. This space feels like a joke. We know VanEck is one of the issuers that's applying for a spot Ethereum ETF, and we can see their deadline dates for May of this month on May 23rd. So we'll see if we get any updates this month. We can see BlackRock's deadline is August. So ideally, I want to see Bitcoin draw its first major move to the upside, not chop around and go lower for longer, and I want to see the Ethereum spot ETF be approved and send the altcoin market up. A lot sooner than later, and I know that we're all bored of the market right now. Assets at lows are going lower, chopping sideways even longer would be super boring. But historically, once we see that first major move and get some confirmation of liquidity entering the asset class, the euphoria is going to return. Next up, shared by Wrath Economan, we can see Ripple user Neum has become a registered financial service provider in New Zealand. Next up, shared by HBAR Foundation, France's state-owned energy supplier and Hedera Governing Council member EDF Official or EDF Official is building multiple real-world asset use cases on the Hedera Guardian. We have electric vehicle RECs standing for Renewable Energy Certificates. We have green hydrogen certification and trading to decentralized energy trading with Google Cloud. EDF is leading the charge for the Hedera Guardian, establishing a reliable and transparent system for tracking and verifying the renewable energy sources used to power EV charging infrastructure, enabling real-time tracking, matching, and secure issuance of these renewable energy certificates, overcoming the current limitations associated with traditional REC systems. Next up for Casper on CSPR.live, under contract types, we can see the Casper US dollar stablecoin as the token type or contract type CEP18. And right here, shared by Tokenizer, we have shared ledger, tokenized asset settlement, large financial institutions. It's hard to quantify the tech and standard frameworks and what they would allow for this to work. Referring to JP Morgan, Visa, MasterCard, Citi, and Wells Fargo for tokenized asset settlement. This is shared by Forbes with a clickbait article revealing crypto plan for mass institutional adoption. So these groups are some of the banks that will test the common settlement of tokenized assets on shared ledger technology called the Regulated Settlement Network, with payment giants Visa and MasterCard as well as global financial messaging service SWIFT. The Regulated Settlement Network, so-called proof of concept, is inspired by Bitcoin's blockchain technology that allows a shared database to be maintained without relying on a trusted third party. So just thinking about all of these pilots, proof of concepts, and different projects we've seen a variety of central banks work on, also thinking of Fireblocks with their technical committee and different frameworks that they're backed by. We have other trials such as JP Morgan's Onyx private blockchain and unified ledger, a concept introduced by the BIS, the central bank of all central banks. We know the tokenization stats by BCG of a $16 trillion business opportunity. We know the stablecoin market cap predictions of reaching $3 trillion by 2028. So there's so much potential in this space long term. We know there are a bunch of lawsuits, there's infrastructure that's being developed, but there's also a lot of regulation in other jurisdictions outside of the US moving ahead. The Bitcoin spot ETF is great. We know that Hong Kong also launched an Ethereum spot ETF. So there are many thoughts that Singapore, the UAE, other areas are going to be launching an Ethereum spot ETF, and this could be a race since Hong Kong right now is leading the way. And the company Ripple seems to be in a healthy position, just going through all of their case studies, recent interviews, looking at the amount of money through a variety of corridors that they're doing through RippleNet or really just Ripple payments today, and they do have XRP volume. But when is it going to be enough volume to ideally drive demand and push price up? So XRP is being used in live corridors today. We know Tranglo is expanding, all types of things. The question is, when are we going to see the crypto asset class create a new all-time price, reaching Brad Garlinghouse's prediction of $5 trillion, or even Raoul Pal's prediction of $10 to $12 trillion for a cycle top? And last but not least, guys, I want to wish all mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. My voice is still gone, so apologies. And we have iTrustCapital linked in the top of the YouTube video description for anybody interested in a crypto retirement account. I personally have a Roth IRA for tax-free gains. It seems silly now when prices aren't moving, but I do have a nest egg over the long term. So if you use the link in the top of this YouTube video description and in the pinned comment, you get a $100 funding reward. And iTrustCapital leverages a qualified custodian. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Huge thank you to all that hit the like button, and I will catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.